Y'all, it's a wild phenomenon going on right now in the job market, and that is called ghost jobs. This is where a lot of people are seeing fake listings for jobs that are not there, they are not real, and people are applying for these jobs, wondering why they're not getting any callbacks, not getting any feedback or anything. And it's because a lot of people are actually on staff and hired to post job listings that they know are fake, that they know are ghost jobs. That right there takes doing something strange for a little piece of change to the next level. Because when you think about how many people are currently looking for work in this job market and in this economy, and the economy ain't so hot, ghost jobs are playing with people's emotions because they're putting their time and energy into looking for these jobs. Y'all, let's see what CNBC has to say about this whole thing.
Meet John Doe. He's in his early 20s and eager to jump into the workforce. He sees a job listing that looks perfect to him. So he brushes up his resume, he writes an awesome cover letter, applies, and then waits. And waits. So after a month or so, he actually sees the same job posting relisted, which makes him super frustrated. John isn't alone. Many people are frustrated by applying to these kinds of jobs that seem to have no intention of hiring anyone.
Y'all, let me know, is this a common thing that you're going through? A lot of people are experiencing the same exact thing.
You are in the position of trying to find a new job. Of course, you don't want to waste your time applying for these ghost jobs.
But it turns out all those open job postings that you see online might not even be real.
Ghost jobs are a phenomenon that have existed for a long time, but they've come to light much more in recent years, and they've become much more of a significant issue in the job market.
4 in 10 companies posted fake job listings in 2024, and 3 in 10 are currently advertising for a role that isn't real.
This is just so messed up. 4 in 10 are posting fake jobs. That's almost half of the jobs that people are applying for online. Absolutely fake. I think it's immoral. I think it's wrong. I think it should be illegal. And then 3 out of 10 are posting roles that aren't even real. So they're just making up roles and posting it. The job market, in my opinion, is horrible. It is a blessing if you are not having to deal with this sort of thing. Even if you're not looking for the job, if I'm not looking for the job, the people who are looking for jobs, this is absolutely messed up to play these kind of mind games with people. This is just my opinion.
The rise of ghost job posting definitely points to a cooling in the economy. We are seeing that employers are more hesitant to make that hire, and it just points to the fact that demand for talent is slowing down.
Here's why ghost jobs are on the rise.
I'd like to know why.
Ghost jobs are actually not scams. They're from real companies, but they are openings that don't actually exist. That company is not actually hiring for that role at this moment in time. They might be interested in hiring for that role in the future, or maybe they were hiring for it, but due to budget cuts, those roles were closed or put on hold.
A ghost job is essentially a job that remains open online and never gets filled. The occurrence of ghost jobs has increased quite dramatically over the past 5 years. We're seeing a decline in the rate of hires to job postings.
Let's look at this graph. So this graph is going from 2018 to 2024. Hires to job posting ratio. You know what this actually makes me think about? We also have a rise in AI technology. A lot of these jobs that a lot of people needed to be in the office for in these companies to do, the companies over this course of time, as AI evolves, probably they won't even need certain people to do these jobs. And I'm just curious to know, am I the only one that thinks like that about AI? Because the way AI is so advanced, these robots and everything could just take over. So when people are saying these jobs are not hiring like they used to, this is what they mean.
That rate has basically halved over the past 5 years. So whereas in 2019, we saw 8 hires per 10 job postings, we are now seeing 4 hires per 10 job postings, which of course is quite a dramatic drop. This is a pretty worrying development because it just softens the signal of what a job posting really means and whether there is truly a hiring intention behind that from the employer point of view.
So not only are the chances slimmer here, you still have to compete with your competitors for that job position.
I think we're seeing a lot of ghost jobs lately for the same reason that I think a lot of people keep their Tinder profiles up, even if they're not actively looking for a relationship. It's because we like to keep our options open for, whether it's a good or a bad thing. Companies are no different. Companies know that talent is not always available when they are ready to hire. So they want to be able to attract applications from potentially great candidates, even if they're not right now able to give that person a job.
I don't feel like that's why they're doing it, but this could be the conspiracy theorist in me, but I just feel like these jobs are doing that to play the mind games. And I also heard a few people talk about that in some separate videos. The fact that a lot of these jobs will post job applications like they're hiring in order to scare the employees into working. Some people think it has a lot to do with the PPP loans. Y'all let me know down below, what do you think the reason is? But while you're down low, make sure you subscribe to the channel.
Because market visibility, if they are regularly listing their job openings, that will enhance a company's image, potentially showing them as a growing and thriving organization. And maybe that's a signal to investors or clients or competitors that their company is expanding the brand perception.
Market research. Some companies, they have no idea what is a salary, what are the skill sets in demand. So they probably are posting to get that data. What are you expecting as a salary if you want to be in that role in this industry? So that's why they're collecting those data so that they can build a total compensation package and build the key performance indicator and net promoter scores for the companies if they really don't know how the recruiting works. So maybe it's for market insights to go into the future, but that does not benefit the job seekers at all.
It absolutely doesn't. And I think that's kind of messed up. It's like, why don't you just do a survey, put this information out to the general public? Like, hey, what is your ideal salary for this job? Isn't this stuff already listed on LinkedIn and a lot of these job sites, like what the expected salary is? I could be totally wrong. But I just think that generally speaking, a lot of people already know what the expectation is for a job. So it's like you needed to put the job out there to people who actually need a job and are hurting in this economy to waste their time so you can have a better idea and have better data in order to know what that salary should be looking like. So then when you actually need people, you can be like, hey, are you okay with this number? Because we keep getting all these other applications that we didn't take seriously that we're saying around this number, but now we got data that says, hey, we should probably start at a baseline of this number when giving you the offer for your job. Like, I just think that's messed up. In this economy where so many people are struggling, so many people desperately need jobs, to just be like, yeah, we're doing it for this reason to collect data. What? I just feel like, where's the humanity?
That's such a bad employer branding.
Yeah, that's messed up. It's evil.
The U.S. job market significantly slowed in July 2024. However, if you look at the overall labor market, it's still healthy.
It's no question this report came in cooler than expected, but over the past 3 months, payrolls are up 170,000. That's certainly a good enough clip to keep the labor market healthy.
According to June's Job Openings and Labor Turnover Survey, commonly known as JOLTS, the number of unemployed persons per job opening stands at 0.8, indicating a tight labor market.
Job openings and labor turnover, known as JOLTS. JOLTS coming in near expectations, 8,184,000. Actually, that's better than expectations.
Despite a tight labor market on paper, many workers are still struggling to find jobs, indicating a disconnect between the data and the real-life experiences of job seekers.
The rise of ghost jobs is muddying the jobs report. It's making it harder for the Fed to make decisions and understand what the labor market looks like. Anecdotally, people will tell you that it's very tough out there. We've talked about this notion of unhirables. People who are out of work, got laid off, and just can't find a job. They can't buy an interview. There are people coming out of college and they're finding that they're putting out 500, 800, 1,000 applications and they can't get an interview.
I absolutely believe that it's hard for the college graduates, and here's why. I read a separate news article that was saying that Gen Z is likely... I was reading a separate report that said something like Gen Z is more likely to not be hired. And in that article, it had a lot to do with how the older generations view Gen Z in the workforce. So when these college students is getting out and they're like, oh, I can't get a job, I ain't got experience. Like, I don't believe that they're lying. But there are a few of the Gen Zers who are still standing out and still able to make it happen. I personally just think that people already have made up their minds about the generation. And it showed in the article. And that's really unfortunate for the Gen Zers who are hardworking, the ones that are able to work as a team, take initiative, and all the things that they were saying and hinting that they were lacking at. I think a lot of them are being rejected just off of their age.
It's really hard as a job seeker to spot a ghost job. There are some signs. If you look at a job and you see that it's been open for over a month, sometimes it might say it's been open for many months. Some of the job boards will give an indication of how many people have applied for a job. And so if you see that a job has been open for 90 days and 10,000 people have applied, putting your application in, you're 10,001, you're a number, it's probably a ghost job.
But it shouldn't be all of this. Why is this allowed in the first place? And there may be better ways to go about getting a job, like maybe going directly to the website, knowing somebody who actually works there who can get your foot in the door, because that is so slept on. I wish that people understood how important that is to getting a job. But I mean what I say, y'all. Networking is so important when you're trying to get a job, especially the fact that you're already competing with these other people, but now y'all are competing with ghost jobs, which shouldn't even be a thing. But when you have real human interaction, which is what you can get with networking, I'm not going to say that this is always going to get you in the door, but you have a way better chance, especially with this sort of nonsense going on.
My firm uncovered that there's 1.7 million job openings on LinkedIn in 2023 that were older than a month. And these we've determined to be potential ghost jobs. They're not necessarily ghost jobs, and that is the difficulty with ghost jobs, is that they're hard to fully prove. So there are ghost jobs out there for sure. They're rising and they're a problem, but it's not always easy to completely pin them down. And companies don't want to admit that they're posting ghost jobs because it looks bad for them. It's anti-employee, it's anti-job seeker, and it's very pro-company. So they're not going to openly admit that they're posting ghost jobs.
Even though we may not know who directly is doing the ghost job listings, you can still look at the statistics. Almost half of companies are using this practice. It's a lot to think about when you are looking for a job. And that's why I think networking and getting direct access to the job is way better than going through all this, because this is nuts. Like, who would know what job is fake and what job isn't?
Another red flag for a job posting that's potentially a ghost job is when it's a vague job title. So for example, if they say we're looking for a video superstar, or we're looking for a project manager superstar, or they use some sort of identification that doesn't really say much, it could be an indication that they are just keeping a job opening available so they can attract talent and get a nice little pool of potential talent that they can pull from when and if they do need to hire.
That sounded like a social media influencer, didn't it?
Boards are the most popular places for job seekers to find opportunities. Indeed, ZipRecruiter, and LinkedIn are among the most popular job boards in the US. However, there's growing concern that some of these platforms aren't doing enough to address the issue of fake job postings.
Right.
Job posting platforms can address ghost jobs. The first line of addressing them is taking full responsibility for them, even if they're not the ones posting it. That's totally understandable, but it's still their site. It's their platform, and I believe they should take 100% responsibility. They should be verifying. They could implement an enhanced job post verification method. So potentially they're reaching out to multiple people in the hiring process, an HR person, a hiring manager, or verifying that person via social media.
I would love to see these job posting sites like LinkedIn, ZipRecruiter, and Indeed hold companies a little bit more accountable for being transparent about how long the listings have been up.
I'm wondering, why hasn't it happened already? I'm pretty sure that somebody knows that there is a whole bunch of ghost jobs being listed, and so nobody said nothing. Who is it benefiting? Because LinkedIn is still a company. And I'm not saying they're working together. I'm just asking, is LinkedIn there to help people that are looking for the jobs, or is it there to help the companies?
CNBC reached out to a few major job posting platforms for comment. LinkedIn stated that their job posting policy requires posts to be genuine and accurate, and they're removed after 6 months. Indeed noted that some postings stay active during ongoing searches or continuous hiring, and ZipRecruiter stated that ghost jobs are prohibited under their policies.
Sounded like they tried to take a little bit of the accountability there without really taking too much, because we still know that this is actually a problem with these ghost jobs being listed. And I understand that they are trying to protect their public image. I get that, because they are a business. But do I think they're really doing like the absolute most to make sure that people aren't getting hit with ghost jobs? And that's all I'm going to say. Y'all let me know what you think.
At the end of the day, when it comes to ghost jobs, I mean, companies got to do what they got to do. And I think they're willing to take that reputational risk if it means they can attract the best talent and do what's best for them at the end of the day.
What ghost jobs speak about the labor market is that it's not currently friendly to job seekers.
No.
And companies are taking advantage of the labor market. They're in this opening that's this legal gray area, and they're taking advantage of it. They don't need to be nice to job seekers because they think that they owe them nothing. And they think that they'll be able to push the cost of their own employees down with this, because there's a lot of sentiment online about it being impossible to find a job right now.
It says job seekers are becoming more desperate to find work. It's not just about vibes anymore. Even that last statement they just made, it's just like, where are the morals? Where are the boundaries? When is it too far? When have you gone too far? People are hungry. People are desperate. People have bills. People have a lot of things going on. A lot of people with degrees just are baffled by the fact that they can't find work. And even people without degrees, a lot of people are just like, why can't I even get hired at a fast food joint? A lot of people are having these sort of struggles. And though many people live in areas where people are able to get hired for jobs, and that is an absolute blessing if you live in one of those areas, but we do have to remember how other people who don't live in areas like that are feeling the heat right now. And I just think we can't be so far removed to not see that. I'm speaking about the job market in a general sense. The job market in itself is not stellar right now. It's not just amazing. This is the type of job market that if you have a job, in my opinion, you want to hold it down because it's scary. Like, look at what is going on. Is this something that you really want to face? These ghost jobs, not being able to get a job for so long because then you have to compete with other people for the job if you even have a chance of getting a job if it was even real. And this is why a lot of people are just over the job search because ain't no telling how many ghost jobs they done got hit with. And I'm not saying that people shouldn't try to do better or go find better work that pays better. If the opportunity presents itself, I'm like, yeah, absolutely do that. But I can definitely understand the frustration of people trying and trying and trying and trying and trying. You're not even understanding what you're doing wrong because most of the time these people aren't even giving y'all the time of day to give feedback. Could it be due to ghost jobs? Absolutely. I'm not sure because each situation is going to be different. How each person looks for jobs is going to be different. How each person follows up with the jobs is going to be different. The things like some people are going to network a lot better than others to get jobs. So it's not one size fits all when it comes to the jobs and how people get the jobs. But one thing we can say, in my opinion, is that the job market does not look good. And I feel for the people out there trying to figure it out because these statistics are new. All of these sort of mind games, like these ghost jobs, this is newer things that they're introducing and throwing at people, and people are having to adapt and figure their way to come out on the winning side of all this because they still need to survive.
So why am I going to leave my job and try to find another job? So I think what this might lead to, though, is job seekers doing the same thing to companies, like keeping the doors open for themselves and looking for jobs the entire time they're working and having many recruitment contacts because that's what companies are doing. They're always looking for the next step and they're worried about themselves. Then that's going to create that same sentiment with employees.
There was a man on TikTok who actually has firsthand experience with ghost jobs because he worked posting them.
I got fired from my second job because I wouldn't post a ghost job. So let me explain what I do for my second job, what I did for my second job. I was a hiring manager. I usually just post job listings sometimes on Indeed or other job listing websites for my company. I'm not going to explain what company that is because I can't do that. But I am going to talk about what I can talk about because I read through my NDA. I used to post ghost jobs, which are fake jobs to encourage our current employees to work harder. These jobs will be fake jobs, so you can apply for the listing, but not actually get hired. They're called ghost jobs. You're probably wondering, I applied for all these places. Why am I not getting callbacks? You might have applied for a ghost job, which isn't a real job. It's just put there to show that we're looking for new hires at higher rates to get our current employees to work harder.
In my opinion, he got fired because he had morals. He didn't want to go out here and do dirty work. And I applaud him for that because a lot of people be out here ready to do something strange for a little piece of change. And I just kind of feel like this whole ghost job thing, knowing that you're posting jobs for people who are struggling in an economy when they actually need jobs is kind of heartless. I don't know if I could go to sleep at night knowing that this was my job and that my job is actually contributing to a big problem that I'm seeing in this economy on a large scale. A lot of people, like we've seen the statistics, that was a lot of jobs, 40%, y'all. That's no small number that we're talking about here. And the fact that this is somebody's whole job, y'all wake up. Wake up.
As an incentive to make them work hard, as opposed to increasing the base pay or the base rate. And I've made maybe 300 ghost job listings. I've made a lot. I've made so many. It's insane. And what messes me up is that they're still doing it. And I got into a little bit of a scuffle, a fracas, one might say, with my previous hire manager.
Okay.
My hire manager said, hey, you stopped posting ghost job listings. What's going on, buddy? It's really working. It's helping our team morale. I said, listen, this is the first time I've ever said this in my life. I don't feel good about doing this. This might be the first time I've ever said that. I don't feel good about, usually I have like no moral, no ethics about anything. I just didn't feel good at all about doing it, despite the fact that I was getting a massive bag from it. And he said, well, we need somebody to do it, and you're the best we've got. I'm not going to continue to post ghost job listings so our employees can act like they are scared to lose their jobs. That ruins their mental. It destroys their mental health deeply.
So this is all about productivity to make them work harder because they're scared that somebody else is pretty much going to come in and take their spot. The scare tactics that companies are using out here is just kind of like, to me, I just feel like there has to be, where's the ethics board? Is there an ethics board that like, it's like, hey, you know, we can't do stuff like this because it's wrong? I don't know. I guess not.
He said that's HR's job, not ours. So I'm talking to him and I'm arguing. And at this point, he's shouting, I'm calm. So I'm thinking I can take it to HR, and he says, we're probably going to have to talk about this later, but you should clock out for the day. I don't want to clock out for the day because we're not done talking about the specific issue. This is insane. This is psychotic.
Yeah.
So I go cool off. I talk to my friends in the Discord. We're cooling off. We're talking about it. Another one of my friends does the same job as I do. He also posts ghost jobs, and it's disgusting. It's not just my company. It is every company I'm seeing doing this. It's Walmart doing this. It's Amazon doing this. I'm not going to disclose my company, but it's Best Buy doing this. They're posting these fake job listings to trick you into thinking, oh, well, they're hiring a bunch of other things, or because just in case you're looking to move to a new job or talk about needing a pay raise, and they'll post a new job at a higher rate. Say you got hired in at $17 an hour. They'll post a ghost job at $22 an hour. And if you try to apply for that, they'll clock you for that. If you try to apply for that, they'll clock you for that, and they'll know it's you because they got your social security number, you applying for the job. It is a disgusting business practice. Because as soon as you apply to get a higher position or anything like that, they'll talk to you about it. And they'll ask you, why do you want a higher position? Do you want more pay? Are you dedicated to the company? They'll give you a performance review. They'll check everything about you just to see. I recommend, this is my honest opinion, this is my honest recommendation, doing the bare minimum at jobs. Bare minimum. I mean bare minimum at jobs. Just coast. Just coast by doing the bare minimum at jobs. Don't try to do anything extra or crazy. Just coast by doing the bare minimum at jobs. I'm so serious. Because I didn't know this was so much of it. I thought it was just my job doing this. I thought we were like the monopoly on doing this. That's what I thought. But I'm applying to other jobs. I'm applying to other places, and I'm noticing the ghost jobs. I'm noticing that there are many of them. There are so many ghost jobs that are just fake. They're just fake jobs. I am sickened.
And I can understand why he's sickened. Like, just imagine anybody in your family, your brother, your sister, your mom, your cousin, your auntie, anybody, your dad, looking for a job, and this is what they're up against. Your own family could essentially be coming right back to you talking about, hey, this is so hard in this job market. Like, nobody's getting back to me. I'm not understanding why. I keep saying that all these places are hiring, and when I'm going to apply, I'm not getting anything. And can you imagine working a job where you know you're part of the problem? Like, you know that you're part of the problem, but you're getting paid well. And your own family is suffering from this same system. Y'all, it would eat me up. It really would. I couldn't do it.
I'm disheartened. I'm disgusted.
Yeah.
I'm angry because I don't have my second job anymore, by the way.
It's okay.
It was a small job. I worked 20 hours a week just doing the analytics and the hiring for a company. That's all I did. But I still work at Amazon. But man, I'm just sickened. Amazon doesn't care about what I post, by the way. They're fine with me doing whatever. Amazon doesn't check anything I do. They don't care about me at all. But man, this is stupid. This is weird. Look up ghost jobs. Just look them up.
The whole ghost job thing to me is sickening. It's wild that companies are even able and allowed to operate in this capacity, and the fact that it's seemingly legal to do so, and we just have to kind of deal with it and find a way to play this game and try to outdo the companies that are posting these jobs. And I just think it's something to consider when a lot of people make the statement, just get a job. Y'all, it's not that simple. Like, look, like this is real chess being played out here. As easy as it may have been for a lot of us to secure jobs, it's clear as day that it's not that time right now. And I hate to say it, that a lot of companies are simply playing dirty. They're not playing fair. And for those of y'all that are in the job market, I hope that each and every one of y'all is able to find a way to be successful. I can understand why this is very stressful, and it's not right that they're out here doing this. And those of you who are able to actually land a job interview with a real job, do not take that for granted, because look at what people are up against. And this could very well be you back in the pool, battling it out with other people and ghost jobs, because these companies, like I said, they're not playing fair right now. They are out for self. So if you have a job but you want to move on to something better, y'all lock it in before you just up and leave, and then you be out here dealing with this, because a lot of these people can't find jobs for like 6 months plus, and they have a lot of qualifications. Ghost jobs, like we said, we don't know if that's the exact reason why, but it could definitely be a factor, and we won't really get the stats on that until after all the madness is over. But right now, y'all are actively in the fight. Just try to maneuver the best way you can. And I know there's not really much else that a lot of people online can do, but we can at least be positive and send you all well wishes and understand things for what it is, because this is not a pretty time in the job market. We got to start making better decisions today in order to have a better future.